everyone, Kate here. I am going to walk you through some setup options for your Newline as you get going with your new technology. So as I kind of pop out of the way here, you will see I'm on the home screen of my panel. This more than likely is what you're going to see as you first start getting going with your panel. But of course, it's Newline, so you've got options. Customize this to make it work for you, whatever is going to bring you joy. So we're going to go over onto the right side into the main settings option up here, that Spacely sprocket, that little cogwheel that you may have seen before. So luckily, most folks kind of use this icon for settings. So anytime you see settings, I always say, go around the block and meet the neighbors. You don't have to change anything, but there's probably going to be a few things that you may want to. So let's pop in and check out kind of the top 3 options in settings that you're probably going to want to use to customize your panel to better meet your needs. So going down, the first one, this is always one of the biggest questions that I get during training, is customizing your date and time. So if your time is wrong, if your date is wrong, if it's just pulling, I'll say something wonky from the network or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and change it to whatever you want. I can turn off, use network time, set it myself, turn that back on, let it pull network time. So you got options there. This is another big one, 24-hour format. So if you're like, ooh, 1752, that's not how I tell time. All you have to do is go in here. You can see standard 24-hour. I can toggle that off. And now it says 1 p.m. And you're like, yes, now you're speaking my language. You can go ahead and customize that as well. Now you also have options when it comes to your date format, whether you want to start with day or you want to count down from year. So you do you, whatever works best for you is absolutely okay. So in here, again, we're in the date and time settings. You can reset your date and time. If it's not correct, you can go into 12 or 24-hour time, and you can adjust the way your date is presented. Back into my main settings menu here, working my way below date and time down to display and theme. And you may have noticed there's probably some upgrades, some firmware updates when you first got your panel going. That is fabulous because we got some additional themes in here. So you can see this first standard theme is where you start, but you have lots of options. So just to select one so you can see how easy this is, I'm going to go ahead and just choose my fields option down at the bottom. You can see I have that blue check mark selected. I go home and it is that simple. You got more options though. So let's dive back in there. I'm going back into settings. I'm going to take another go around display and theme. Maybe I'm looking and I'm like, you know what? I really like these neon buttons. I think they're pretty jazzy, but I don't want that black background. I want something just a little bit more colorful, maybe a little bit more spicy. I can choose this button theme, but I can layer it over another wallpaper. So I can go into wallpaper. I have a lot more color options, and something new in the last couple of weeks, we've added some animated wallpapers. So let me go ahead. I'm going to choose my space theme and I go home. There we are. Now I have my colorful buttons on top of my space theme. Guess what? You have another option. So if you want to choose your own background, maybe you want to upload a photo or a theme, you want to choose a wallpaper that matches your lesson. Maybe you're going to be like, you know what, the most popular teacher ever, and on Friday, somebody earns the right to pick the background. So you can go into your browser. I just Googled large 4K wallpaper, but if you wanted, 4K wallpaper for your local sporting team or for maybe a video game or something like that, you get a student of the week that gets to pick it, whatever it may be. By all means, go for it. But if I wanted to scroll down, I'm like, oh, this looks very serene and wonderful. I would love this to be my background. I'm going to just go ahead and click on that picture. I wait for it to load. I'm going to say, as I'm looking at it, it doesn't look as clear as I thought it was going to. That's not a good 4K wallpaper. So I'm going to choose another option. Let's go into Glacier National Park here. There we go. Now you can see how crisp and wonderful that is. Press and hold. Download image. I'm going to tap that. It's going to automatically download that picture to my panel. I'm going to go back home. I wanted that as a wallpaper. back into my settings, display and theme, where my wallpaper and themes will be. Pop into wallpaper, you can add up to 6 custom wallpapers. So I'm going to click this. It will automatically bring you into recent downloads. So you can actually see I have a couple of different ones that I've pulled in. So you can pick whatever it is that you may want. So I actually like this one. I like the fields. I think they're really pretty. So now I've got my wallpaper. I'm going to tap the check mark so that way it's blue. And when I go home, you can see I've got my neon buttons over the background that I've chosen. I'll say this one's kind of short, but it's wide enough so it just kind of will replicate in the back. So you may notice that just depending on the size of your wallpaper, but very easy to change and adjust for whatever works best for you. So we've talked about setting your date and time. We've talked about changing your theme and wallpaper. The third thing I want to talk about, we get a lot of questions on, is if any of you have been working with your panel and you're like, you know, I go into lunch and I come back and the panel's off. Or all of a sudden, you know, every day if we're doing something, I'll get this countdown that's like, your panel's going to shut off in 120 seconds. And you're like, why? Why is that happening? I'm glad you asked. Those are in your power settings. So back into settings, I'm going to scroll down into power. So you can see, if you don't see it right away, you just got to scroll down, power. So those are going to be your energy saving options. By default, your energy saving is probably either 30 or 60 minutes. That is, of course, adjustable. So for me, what I do is I actually set my energy saving to never. I never want my panel to go to sleep when I turn it on in the morning. However, I want to make sure that it shuts off at the end of the day. And I don't want to be like in my car, leaving, you know, the office, or you're leaving the school and you're like, oh, I forgot to shut off my panel. Last thing you want to do is turn around, battle traffic, and go back. So when you set your energy saving, again, to whatever you want, also give yourself the option of an auto power off. I don't do auto power on a lot just because it's very easy for me to tap the button. And if I'm on spring break or you're on spring break or it's a weekend or it's, you know, just a down day or whatever it may be, the panel doesn't know that you're not going to be there that Tuesday or Wednesday and it'll turn on. So I just do auto power on. And I'm going to select in here. Make sure you choose the days. So they're going to come grayed out. For me, I choose every single day of the week. Just in case, for whatever reason, if there's an event going on, you can think about that. Or somebody's cleaning, they accidentally turn it on, then you just know it's going to shut off every day at a certain time. So I am in AM PM time, so I can just choose, say, I don't want it to shut off every day at 9 a.m. I want it to shut off every day at 9 p.m. But I can turn it around, whatever it may be. I set the hour, and then I can go ahead and set the minute, and that's what I'm going to have. So I hit OK. If you are in 24-hour time, it's going to adjust accordingly. So you can just move it in and out for, you know, 2300 or, you know, 2000 versus 8 o'clock in the morning. But auto power off. Power saving, energy saving set to never. My panel will stay on all day. I have chosen the date and time that works for me and making sure everything is how I want it to be displayed. And of course, going into my theme, I can choose whatever theme it is that I want to customize the look of my panel very seamlessly. Hopefully that was helpful and it just gets you going on kind of some of the top 3 questions that we get and things that you're probably going to want to change right away. If you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out. Keep the questions coming. That's how we build our content. And we really look forward to working with you and hope you enjoy your Newline. Take care.